everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome, I'm Stella. In this video I wanted to do episode 2 of First Impressions foundation with a mask wear test. From when I did my first video, which was on the Anastasia Beverly Hills Luminous foundation. I will link the video in the description down below if you haven't seen it yet. Things haven't changed all that much. We're still expected to wear masks, especially on places like public transport. I'm actually back in the UK and here it's only a law on public transport. Personally, I choose to wear it also in supermarkets and things like that. But I know in other countries that even there it's a law, so you have to wear them. So yeah, so I just thought I would put the next foundation through its paces. And the one I've chosen to do is the Urban Decay Stay Naked foundation. So I know that this has been out for a while, but I haven't actually tested it yet, and it was one of the purchases I made during quarantine, and I've had it for a while, so I'm really excited to finally try it because, yeah, it's just been sitting here. Basically, I first wanted to go through what the foundation claims. It costs £31 in the UK on the Urban Decay website. I actually got it during a deal when Urban Decay were doing like 30% off, so I think there's definitely options to get it cheaper. And it claims to be weightless liquid foundation with up to 24 hours of wear. I'm not going to be testing it for 24 hours. I think there's videos on that, but yeah, I'm going to be taking it off probably after a few. I bought the foundation in 11NN, which is this one here, this swatch. And I found it a little bit hard to find sort of my match, I have to admit. So I just thought I would share some of the other foundations that I use, so to what it matches. So the next one up is the NARS Radiant Foundation in Mont Blanc. And actually, as you'll see later, this matches me really well. So does this one, despite the color difference in the two. This one is the Anastasia Luminous Foundation in 120W. This one is actually the Urban Decay All Nighter foundation in 0.5, and when I took that out of the tube first, it was pretty much the exact same color as this, but that foundation is quite famous for oxidizing. And finally, the last one is the Too Faced foundation in Snow. If you're interested in seeing how this performs under a mask, then please keep watching. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is prime my face, and I'm going to use a primer that I use always, which is the Ole Henriksen Banana Cream Primer. Banana Bright Face Primer. I want this to be a fair test, so I'm just using products that I would usually use. Okay, next up, going straight in with the foundation. So I'm quite pale, but I am a little bit tan by my standards currently. So I got the foundation in 11NN. I'm going to do the same as I actually did in the other video and apply half of it with a brush and the other half with a sponge. So I'm just going to take a pump on the back of my hand and see how we get on with that. The foundation is very liquidy. Okay, so I'm going to be going in with the Radial Airbrush Finish brush, I think it's called, and just starting on one side of my face. Okay, so I would say initial impressions, it is really easily blendable. So because it's so liquidy, it's really easy to spread around the face and work with. It looks really dewy, so glowy, which I have heard about this foundation, and also very much what I think a lot of other people have said, very skin-like. And I actually think the foundation is like a perfect match for me at the moment, because yeah, my face is usually darker than the rest of my body, so I always need to go lighter. Yeah, I'm really happy with that, with the brush. Okay, so I have a little bit left on the back of my hand, but I'm just going to go in with a sponge now for the other side. And yeah, you're definitely going to need more product for this. So I'm going to take one more pump to start with. I think because it's so liquidy, the sponge really soaks up the product. Okay, that was like 1.5 pumps, but as you can see, the coverage on this side is much better than on this side. So I'm going to have to take another one. So yeah, if you're using a sponge, it uses up quite a lot of the product and you won't get as much out of the foundation. Okay, yeah, so I think that's pretty even. Yeah, and just like I said, you just needed a lot more product to kind of get the exact same coverage as on the brush side. I would still say that the brush side has a bit more coverage, and I actually like how the brush side is applied better. So this was about 1 pump and this was about 2.5 pumps. Okay, for the purpose of this video, I'm just gonna go off camera and finish the rest of my makeup. I'm gonna use products that I use frequently for the rest of my face, so it's a fair test on the foundation. Okay, so this is the finished look with all of my other products on top. If you are interested in finding out any of the products that I did use, I will leave them all linked down in the description below. I'm gonna go out now and just live my life a bit, and obviously also wear a mask because that's what we're testing here. I'm gonna use the same mask as I used in my last video, one of those like non-reusable ones. The reason is if it does come off, I don't really want to ruin my nice cotton ones that I usually use. I don't really use these, to be honest, on a day-to-day basis. But yeah, for this test, just in case a lot of it does come off, I don't want to ruin one of them. It's about 11 o'clock right now, so we'll just see how long I keep on the foundation for. And yeah, I'm just gonna head out and see how it goes. Okay, so I'm back and it has been about 8 hours now that I've had the foundation on because it's just past 7 here. So yeah, so I thought I would give you my final review on what I thought of the foundation. So starting off with the mask test, I have been wearing a mask a fair amount today. I was just in the shops and things like that, and in the mask there is a little bit of residue. There's a little bit more than there was with the Anastasia one, like it kind of went into some of the cracks and things like that of the mask. But for it being a more dewy foundation, I'm still really impressed with how little of it transferred. Also overall, like looking at my actual skin, I think the foundation still looks beautiful. Even here, the parts that were under the mask, they didn't separate or anything. So I think it worked really well. I was having to pick between the two foundations I've tested so far under a mask. I think I would definitely go with the Anastasia one just because there was less transfer. And also I was kind of less worried about there being transfer just because this is a matte foundation. So it is less likely to transfer than a dewy one. Just giving my overall final opinions on the foundation, I know that there's lots of reviews out there already, and I would have to agree with a lot of those reviews. I do think the foundation looks really natural on the skin, and even after like 8 hours of wear, it still looks super pretty, super glowy, and it just looks like my own skin, I think. It doesn't look too cakey or anything. I'm really impressed with the wear of it. The only thing that bothers me a little bit is that the packaging just feels super cheap. It's all plastic. So I think it's great if you're traveling because it obviously is lighter than a glass bottle, like the Anastasia one, for example, but it just has a certain weight to it and makes it feel more luxurious. I think for how much you have to pay for this foundation, and I mean it does cost pretty much on par with this foundation and any other high-end one, I think it's a little cheap that Urban Decay put them into a plastic packaging, but that doesn't obviously take away from the quality of the product. And I actually think the product is really, really, really great. I think this is going to become one of my go-to foundations. But yeah, I hope you found this video useful. And if you liked it, then please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next one.